That's better. Okay, so I've got a quick message. This is quite a specific message. And this message is possibly for a woman called Joan. That's the name that I'm getting. Specifically for a swimmer named Joan. And so I'm seeing you in a swimming pool, like a swimming hole, and you are about to dive into the water. And you've got a very serious look on your face, very much a competition face. You're in the zone, disciplined. You're preparing yourself mentally. And I'm getting the feeling like this is your dominion. This is the place where you turn up for yourself. This is the place where you are strong and you are powerful. And this is the place where you shine. And what I'm seeing is that this is your comfortable place. And so when you dive into that water, your arms, they cut through the water like a knife does through butter. And what I'm seeing is that this is a place that you retreat to. It's a place where you escape from the world. It's your safe space. It's your safe place. You find a lot of security in yourself in this place. And you may have some problems in other areas of your life. You may have some difficulties. And so you find yourself in this place because this is where you feel strong. And what I'm being directed to tell you, or to show you, to bring light to, is that this place for you, swimming for you, it's a mechanism. And so if you take the problems in your life and let's just make the distinction between emotions and water. So you imagine that water that you're swimming through is your emotions. And if you imagine them to be negative emotions, you take the problems from your life and symbolically you go to that swimming hole and you turn that water into your problems. Now, you might not be able to deal with your problems in the rest of your life. You might not know how, but you know how to swim through that water. So you make that water your problems, your negative emotions, and you stand there, you poise yourself, you prepare yourself, and you dive into that water and you swim through that water and you own that water. You own those negative emotions. You own those problems. They don't get the better of you, because I'm being shown a duck, right? A rubber duck that you take into the bath with you when you're a child, or maybe not. And so we could take this to mean that you are like, you take to the water as a duck takes to the water. So this is your domain. This is where you rule. You don't have problems in the water. You know what to do with the water. You know how to move through it. You know how to control that water, and more importantly, how to take control of yourself in that water. And so this is a mechanism for alchemizing and transmuting. You can transmute, you can alchemize negative into positive. You can take your problems and you can transmute them into something else. You can transmute them into. You can take negative energy, transmute it, alchemize it into positive energy. You can even manifest from this place, right? Because so there's a lot going on here when you go to the swimming hole. Okay, this is your place of strength. It's what you're good at. It's where you find peace. It's where you find security. I'm even feeling the swimsuit on your body, and it's comforting. It's tight. It hugs your skin, so that gives you a sense of security. The fact that you're good at what you do, you can swim well, that gives you confidence. You move through the water, as I said, like a knife through butter. So you've got confidence, you've got security, you've got a place of peace, a place of ease. There's no problems to be anticipated because you have none. You own that water. There are no difficulties here. And so this becomes the perfect mechanism because you are at your best here. You are your strongest here, your safest here. Here you have the most stability. Therefore, you can pull the most strength out of this situation, out of this place, this environment. And so when you're here, there's a lot of power inside of yourself. There's a lot of strength inside of yourself, and you can harness that. So you can sort out your problems in this place. And it's on an energetic level, right? It's not that your problems are going to go away, but you can take the strength from this place. And you go back into those changing rooms and you put your clothes on and you can go back into your life and you can tackle that problem. Try it next time you go swimming. You turn that water into one of your problems and you spend however long you spend swimming. You just swim through that problem over and over again. Swim through it with your confidence, swim through it with your discipline, swim through it with your sense of safety, with your sense of power and strength, with the knowing of who you are. This is your place. This is, you are the ruler here. You are the manifester here. You are the magician here, or the witch. You are all powerful. And so you use this as a mechanism to change the way you think about your problem. And try this with each problem. And then immediately go back into your life and do something to sort that problem out. Do something that moves you a little bit further forward, but do it after you've been swimming, after you've been swimming through that problem. And that's what I'm being told to tell you, that this is a mechanism for transmutation and alchemizing positive into negative into positive. I was going to say positive into negative, negative into positive, and you will find that you will be able to tackle lots of things in this way. If you think about, because we do it so easily, right? We just look at things literally, and we there's always deeper levels that you can go into. And so with your swimming, this is one. But I'm seeing multiple levels in this area. This is a very powerful mechanism because of that. There are many layers to this. It's like a perfect storm of environment. What is it? It's situational empowerment. There's lots of different factors here, and they all come together and they make the best possible version of yourself, which is why you can tackle your problems here. And then from this point you can maybe expand that out into the world, and you can try and translate that mechanism somewhere else. You can find that mechanism outside of the swimming pool. And maybe what the takeaway bit of information here is to always look for the mechanism in life where you can turn negative into positive. So look for these mechanisms. You've definitely got a very powerful one where you're swimming, where you are your most powerful, you are your strongest, you're your most confident version of yourself. Look for that mechanism in other areas of your life. Don't just confine yourself to the swimming pool. Don't be just dependent on that, but like what they're telling me to tell you is to start there. You will get a sense of your power in a way that you've never felt before. And I also feel like it will also open your eyes up to looking at things differently, more deeply, seeing other layers beneath the surface layer. And you will be able to get a sense of what is possible and just what you can achieve. And also just to, on the simplest level, just the notion that there is more to everything than what meets the eye. Like, even if you're not a swimmer called Joan, that's what you can take away from this message. That not everything that meets the eye it's not all that there is to see. And so if you just take this as an example, swimming, just think beyond swimming. Think beyond what you're doing. Think beyond swimming a length in a swimming pool. Think about how you feel when you're in that water, how you act in that water, how you turn up for yourself in that water, how you are keeping yourself afloat, preventing yourself from drowning, how you are, one with that water. You know how to work with it. You know how to flow with it. You know how to glide gracefully through it. You can learn lots about yourself just by looking at all these other layers, and then you can translate this into other areas of your life. That's like the most beautiful thing about everything in life, right? Because everything about this realm, it is it's all based on interactivity. Everything is interacting with everything. So you can always translate something from here over to here. You can always translate something from one area of your life to another area of your life. You can always take those basic principles and always translate them. So if you try and open your mind and you look at everything like that, you can often use one mechanism and you can find that blueprint all over the place. And you can become a lot more effective in your life, and you can fix problems more easily, and you can overcome obstacles, and you can just become more efficient, more able, more of your best friend, not your enemy, and your mind will get stronger like this. The more you learn to adjust your eyes, to look around and see the opportunities where you can harness power, and you just become the most powerful version of yourself. So they really want me to make sure you understand this and you start to think a little bit more deeply and just consider that swimming isn't just swimming. Think about what it is you're doing on an energetic level. And really, they want you to turn that water into your problems, and they want you to glide gracefully through your problems. They want you to feel powerful dealing with your problems. They want you to feel confident and safe and secure dealing with these problems, because that is the way to deal with problems. It isn't to make them bigger than they are. It isn't to be afraid of them. These are all the mistakes that we make. You have to deal with your problems from your strongest place, and your strongest place is in that swimming hole. So just start there. Just start there and see what happens.